Good day, ladies and gentlemen. It is Friday, January 19th, 2024. I'm here at the Metal Investor Forum in Vancouver. I'm here with Colin Padget. He's the CEO of Founders Metals. That's one of the companies that I invited to present with me at the forum. I'm a happy shareholder, and most of the shareholders of Founders are pretty happy lately. I'm pretty sure. As I said in my talk, and as I say often in the newsletter, one of the things that tends to work in any market. I mean, anything works better in a bull market than a bear market, obviously. But in this space, one thing that can work in any market is a really good discovery. And that's exactly what Colin and his team have got in Suriname at their Antino property. There's a combination of things. I mean, you guys bought your own rigs. You've got access to a good certified lab with fast turnaround, which of course has been a nightmare for just about everybody else. Yeah. But your turnaround's been great. And what do you think at a technical level changed? Because one of the things that's made FDR such a and it's been a great performer, share-wise, and I think it'll continue to be. It felt to me pretty early on when you guys started drilling like you'd sort of cracked the code. I mean, when I first looked at the project and I bought a bunch of the placement, but I was a little, I looked at the past results and they were kind of all over the place, and it's kind of like, parts of this don't seem to hang together, but I mean, they seem to be hanging together for you guys. I mean, what do you think changed in the way you approached it and the way you're drilling it?
I mean, one of the things I always talk about that's a big difference from what the guys were doing before or what they had available to them is, we actually do have the outcrop. And so there's some orientation things, pieces there where right out of the hop, we knew that there were some differences from, there was a lot of drilling kind of in a straight line along strike and, or what they thought was strike. And we now know or think that it's a little bit off from that. So initially that was a big part of it.
After that, and that was partially based on artisanal mining in the interim, basically exposed.
That's right. Yeah. Right. So it's just before that, none of that would have been exposed. So they wouldn't have had access to that at all. And then after that, we did the geophysics. IP data turned out to be very, very helpful. Not just the charge anomaly being associated with the mineralization, but those flexures that we see. Basically that orientation, the hinge of those, that northeast thing is very important, especially to the highest grade mineralization. That's where we're seeing brittle fracturing, remobilization, and those highest grade hits, the 435 grams per ton kind of things. Yeah. That's what that is. And so we've been able to target that a bit better as well. And those intersections with the main structures are particularly impressive. So
one of the things that's helped a lot, the fast lab turnaround time is a big deal, but Colin and the rest of the management group committed right at the start to try to be consistent and very regular with news. And I personally think that helps a lot. You generally see a news release from you guys every 2 or 3 weeks. Luckily, so far, they generally always have at least one boomer, which doesn't hurt. And one of so far the drilling you've done so far, and Founders has their own rigs, 2 rigs. You drilled about 500 meters, give or take, of what's called the Froyo zone in Upper Antino. Yeah. But there's one of the things that's come up just in the last couple of releases that is really interesting is that. And again, this seems to be, this is something new, I guess. You appear to have a parallel zone kind of right next to it.
Yeah. And that's, it is new. There was some historical drilling kind of all around that area, like holes, poked in through places where we've come back, we've drilled it, and we've found much broad intervals, or sometimes it's an orientation issue where those historic holes are just over top of the structure. And it doesn't take very much when you're working with these shear zone type systems. So this parallel thing has been great because that was us stepping back, coming underneath, and just trying to tag deeper down on the main structure, which the holes do. But then we found a whole lot of gold in the upper part of the drill string. Yeah, that from there, connecting it with some stuff we'd hit earlier in the south of the Froyo zone, and now with this whole 45 stuff that looks like it really starts to fill in that volume. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, this is 500 meters of 8-9 kilometers of shear in that trend, and then you've got 3 or 4 other target areas. Now you're planning. I think you're pretty well cashed up. You're planning to be pretty active this year in terms of size of the drill program.
Yeah, we're looking at right now, kind of money in the bank is 30,000 meters of drilling. We have those warrants out there.
Right.
A lot of them, well, all of them deep in the money, and that money has been coming in. So with that, I'm hoping to see that we can expand that program. We've got capacity, with the 2 drills really into the 50,000 meter range over the course of 24.
Right.
But there's also, I think, opportunity for maybe some ramping up as well.
Okay. So, you mainly been sticking with Froyo. Sort of, where do you go for, like, if you keep the 2 rigs going and or bring in a 3rd one? Sort of, what do you think the order is going to be here in terms of what you drill?
Yeah, I mean, Froyo just kept kind of being so good that
Yeah.
it was hard to
Why
argue that
go
we
anywhere?
go somewhere
Yeah.
else.
Yeah.
Our original plan was, we had 2,500 meters planned at Froyo, and then we were going to move and test some of those other Upper Antino targets. But we've kept one there the whole time.
Yeah.
We've started to do some drilling at Donut actually, which is a little bit of a different beast. It's more intrusion hosted type mineralization there. Stuff on the table looks pretty good. You see a lot of silicification, sericitization over pretty broad intervals, like 100-meter plus kind of things. Don't have assays back for that, but
So
interesting.
this is like an intrusive plug rather than a shear.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of along, it looks like these things are kind of strung along the same orientation,
Right.
but yeah, exactly that. Similar type mineralization to what we expect to see in Boise, and so, or what we know is the kind of model for Boise. So
Right.
we will be, we're doing some donut stuff now. There's some wildcat stuff, all of those exploration targets to be generated from the geophysics. We didn't get a chance to actually get to those at year end, kind of before we wrapped up for the holidays.
Right.
So, we're finishing a couple holes at Donut, and then we're going to be testing some of those as well in the Upper Antino area. And then after that, kind of pending some of those results, a rig's going to Boise, whether it's that second one or it's a new one that comes along. We'll have something down there.
So it sounds like you're more or less decided you're going to bring another rig by the sounds of it.
We're
Yeah.
leaning that way pretty hard.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, in some ways it's a pretty simple story. I think even you guys are surprised. I know I'm surprised at how consistently you guys are being able to hit high grade, because that was in the past that, there's some great historic drill holes there.
So,
But it was very uneven, and there didn't seem to be areas where the dots are really connecting. But you guys seem to be doing that now. They put out a lot of great drill results. There's probably more coming. Founders has been a great stock. I started following it when you relisted after kind of reorganizing and bringing in this project. Relisted at 20 cents. The trades are in $1.50 now. It's still, the other thing that helps a lot is it's also got a really good share structure. It's a pretty tight stock. There's really not that much loose stock around. That's one of the reasons why it tends to react well to good news. Great story. You guys, just keep doing what you're doing, Colin. I mean, you're not screwing up so far. So just keep doing whatever you're doing so far. Works for me. So Founders Metals, it's FDR on Venture. Great story. If you're not paying attention to this, you really should be, because discovery stories at work is really what this stuff is all about, and basically that's what Founders is. Thanks for coming by and introducing the people on the other side of the camera to the story. Great
Absolutely.
story.
Yeah. Thanks so much.